Hello everybody, welcome back to the Writer channel. Today we are going to talk about an AI agent that exemplifies one of the key things I think you want to get out of this new technology, giving it the work that you don't actually enjoy. My colleague Matt Sobel from the partnership team has cooked up an agent which is the perfect intern for creative teams who have made some terrific images but now have to resize them for all kinds of different environments. If you're on a creative team and this sounds familiar to you, stay tuned and he'll show you how to take this work off of your plate.
I am talking to creative teams constantly. One of the things I get asked all of the time is what can writer do with images? So while there might be a foot and a half of snow on the ground in New York, I am still thinking about Ben and Jerry's. And what I want to show you is one of the most common use cases that we're seeing creative teams use writer for. And that's adjusting and resizing images for different ads that they're going to be creating. So imagine you have this like banner ad here. So I'm going to use Ben and Jerry's as my example today. Let's say we're on the Ben and Jerry's marketing team. We've created a playbook in Writer that allows a creative team to actually resize that image for all of the different sizes that they might need for their upcoming campaign on Meta. So let's run this playbook here. What's going to happen, and remember, playbooks are just these reusable plans that agents can use to take action and go execute on a task for us. So this playbook is super specific, and it allows you to feed in any sort of ad or imagery and resize it for all of the meta ad placements. So this is going to create like a feed ad, it'll create a mobile ad, and then like an ad that's specific for stories and reels. And what's cool is each of these different ad types has its own aspect ratio. So the AI will have to understand what's happening in the image and then think about how to resize it for the right type of advertisement. So if I just go into this playbook and I upload that Ben and Jerry's creative, I can simply hit run playbook. The agent will show us how it's going to take this image and then think through how can I resize this image for a new campaign. And then we see the agent get to work. So it's going to first analyze this image and understand what's going on. Then it's going to take it and start to create those different versions and variations. One of the coolest parts about Writer Agent is it's fully transparent. So you can see the entire thought process it's going through to actually execute on this task. So the first thing it did was it analyzed that master creative and it said, okay, here's the existing dimensions of this image. I see a sky, I see some ground. I'm understanding what the background style looks like. I understand what the logo looks like and what we need to make sure we maintain when we start to resize this image. Then what's really cool is it says, okay, if I'm going to make this into a square image, right, for that feed ad, it needs to make sure that the prompt that it's going to write for the image model incorporates all of the critical requirements. So this is actually the agent walking you through how it went off and it created that first ad. So it took, again, this input image that we showed you a second ago, and then it created this image. So while this agent was running for 5 minutes, I went back, I answered some Slacks, I got back to my email, and then I come back, and here's what I come back to. I see the 3 new ads that it created using that original image, right? So this is the square version of that same image. Then you have the mobile version, which is a bit longer. And then you have the stories version. And what's amazing about this is you can see it maintained exactly what it had to for all of that key product, but then it was able to extend up and down and left and right, depending on what was required. After it created the different versions of the image, it also did a quality assurance check. So it said, let's just make sure that each of these images that we created follow the exact dimensions that were asked for. We can create versions of these agents for every single social media platform, right? So you'll have an agent that takes one piece of master copy and then resizes images for all of your different platforms, whether that's LinkedIn or Meta or YouTube. This is basically a creative team's dream. You're hiring an intern that can go off and execute for you. And when you want to understand why it did what it did, it tells you exactly why, because it always recaps for you transparently how it accomplished the goal that you set out for it. So this is just a glimpse into what is going to happen now that creative teams are getting their hands on Writer Agent. So really exciting. Thought that'd be fun. Gosh, this has gotten me hungry.
All right, hope you enjoyed that video. If you're on a creative team, maybe it gave you some ideas for how you can pass off trial work and focus on the things you love. If you're interested in learning more about playbooks and AI agents here at Writer, you can check out the link in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe. We'll be back each week with different videos showcasing how folks on our marketing team are taking advantage of Writer's AI platform.